There you go. Welcome back to another episode of Just Jossin Around, a special episode. Our guest today, Cameron Logston.
Hey.
If you, I love. We have very different things going on in our lives right now, and I can tell. You're surrounded by plants, eating what looks to be a poke bowl, but I'm making an aggressive leap.
I mean, it's salmon and broccoli and rice. So
Kind of.
some edamame. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Some edamame. Okay. I also thought about bringing food on, but I am gonna have to get groceries or something delivered.
I'm gonna put it away. I have to have something, but I'm gonna put it away.
You have okay. No, valid. I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on. So you can change. We're using StreamYard for listeners that are. We're not in the studio today. Everyone is remote. This is the first time Just Jossin Around has been done this way. My background right now is a snowmobile accident. Well, not a snowmobile,
Where's
but
the
an
snowmobile.
There's no snowmobile, but it's to insinuate that I started to leave to come to Omaha, and my car got stuck on the way out of my neighborhood. And then I was like, I just started texting Grace, like, it's not gonna happen. Or I called Grace. I was like, it's not gonna happen. And then I U-turned, went to McDonald's, got a hot chocolate, went home.
So you made it to.
It wasn't that.
The trip up is like 10 more trips to McDonald's. That's it. You could have. You should have left that out. You better cut it.
No, I'm not cutting it because I live criminally close to a McDonald's.
Right, and an interstate.
Yeah, I know, but I just wasn't gonna cut it. And my friends were sending me updates of like the interstate and just being like, "You're not gonna make it," and I don't think I would have. And I had to cancel coming into the office and also my musical bingo tonight. So
yeah, and it's better to be safe. I'd rather you be safe than like the people in the photo that you have as your background.
Yeah. You can play around with your backgrounds on here, which is cool. I'm gonna try not to get too distracted by it, so we're gonna go to something more tame. Yeah, I know. I'm really private about.
Did you pick that?
Yes, I picked. Oh, I didn't pick this.
Download that, or is that an option?
This was just an option for me. Inspired by my actual house. I'm doing okay. Oh my gosh, this is silly. No, I'm gonna change it to the background of what I actually want to get into right now, which is, oh my god, hold on. Everyone pause for a second. Unrelated.
Normal background. She's showing her actual background now.
No.
Actually, it looks quite nice. It's very nice. It's a very nice background.
Thank you. I'm in my second bedroom that I don't use. This is the background that I want. This is what I want to talk about.
You want to talk about, was that the Golden Globes?
Yes.
Great.
I'm sorry. I do not want to talk about the Golden Globes.
I want to talk about whatever you want. It's your show. I'm a guest.
See, people always say that, but this is everyone's show. This is the people's show. This is community. Yeah. I'm a people pleaser, and that's what we do here.
Okay.
But no, the Golden Globes, because it's all over my TikTok right now. And I don't know. I haven't been able to pick that many people's brains about it because it just happened.
What's your TikTok say? I would guess our social media feeds probably have a lot of comedy overlap, right? Like there's comedy overlap. But I would also guess just like on our personal, like the personal parts of ourselves, there's not overlap. And maybe even comedically, we might have different people having different takes on the whole situation. So what's your algo saying?
So algorithm is hate Joe Coy, hate him, hate
Mhm,
everything, bad. He did bad, and to be honest,
mhm.
so the main qualms being the Taylor Swift joke and the joke that was made about Barbie. I guess there were other jokes that were made,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say I didn't like it. But what I didn't like the Barbie joke the most.
That's because it was a lame joke.
It was not good. I
It
did
was
not think
like,
it was good.
ew, what? This is bad, Joe. What are we doing,
Yes,
Joe?
yes.
Yeah, that was not good.
I've seen Joe Coy. Like I considered myself a Joe Coy fan,
Yeah, you should. You should. Joe Coy is a good comedian.
but that was it was tough.
Yeah, that was
But I
rough.
didn't think the Taylor Swift joke was that bad.
I have no comments about the Taylor Swift joke
Oh, why? Why?
because I want a career. Okay, I can't have them coming for me.
No,
I
who's
want to
they?
live.
Who is they?
You know who? I won't even
You're
say
in
their
the
name.
Illuminati. Oh
I
my
won't even
gosh.
say their names. No,
I'm
it's
sorry.
worse than the Illuminati. The Illuminati. When I tell you right now that I believe that Swifties could topple the Illuminati, I think they could do it. I think they could do it. I think if anybody could do it, it's them. I think the Illuminati is it's tough to beat. It's tough to beat the Illuminati.
You're not getting
Uh,
out of it. Yeah.
but I think the Swifties could do it. It's like
They're powerful.
Illuminati versus Scientology versus the Swifties, and the Swifties are on top. That's just
Mhm.
how it goes. They're unmatched.
Yeah. We're not beating them. I mean like I a friend recently. Actually, I'm gonna put her on blast. Lauren Vanna recently attacked a Swiftie on TikTok and
Bold, bold.
I'm telling you. And so
TikTok has only made them stronger.
and they've got these cute little phrases that they could just they I mean,
They just
don't tell her I
they'll
said
just
this,
put a
but she was
song
getting ate
lyric.
up.
They'll put a song lyric, just a title, just the title. They respond in titles of songs. Go to Joe Coy's Instagram right now. It's just Swifties commenting the title of a song, and it's got like 12,000 likes. And they're like, goodbye, Joe Coy. Goodbye for forever. Here's what I will say. Here's what I will say. I do think there are a lot of my initial react because didn't watch I didn't watch a lot of the Golden Globes. I missed the monologue. And normally if I miss the
Mhm.
monologue on an award show, I don't, there's not much else I care about. I can read the results. Um, but obviously sometimes there's stuff that comes up. But the first thing I saw was somebody shared a TikTok where somebody was complaining about Joe Coy. And immediately I was on the defensive because their whole thing was, I don't know who he is. I don't know who he is. Who is him? Ended his career, started his career, ended his career in the same night, all this.
And it's like
And I will tell you right now, that's racism. That's white girls who didn't know that Joe Coy has been putting Filipino people on, has been putting Asian Americans on for decades. Like Joe Coy has been that dude for a long time. And so
Mhm.
I was like immediately turned. I was like, no, not here for it. Don't like it. Hate this TikTok. Don't like this video. Crying foul. I was like, immediately my defenses were up. And then I heard the
Mhm.
Barbie joke and I was like, actually, nah, that sucked. Yeah, that was bad. And I hate that. That was not good. That was bad. And then like, there's a lot of other he bombed. He's a comic that bombed. And he bombed and he did the things that you shouldn't do when you bomb, which is blame the audience, turn on the audience. He he freaking threw his writers under the bus. Like comic to comic, I want to support Joe Coy. But
Yeah.
it's those things that really, and I think the Taylor Swift joke would have been better received if he had been doing well besides it.
Mhm.
But you
Mhm.
can't be bombing be relatively unknown to white mainstream America, and attack the Swifties. That's a
It's a
bad
bad combo.
combination.
It's not
It's a
a
bad
good combination.
combination, Joe.
I
You
just
didn't do it, Joe.
no,
Like, it didn't
I
you
don't.
can't
Yeah,
you
I
can't
had no idea that he was even. Well, I guess it wasn't. He wasn't technically like in the runs. So I read this article. I guess he went on like the news station or whatever and was saying like no one else wanted to do this job. Like that.
Why? Why do you think?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like. Yeah, I don't know if it was maybe I don't know if that crowd was from. I felt like Joe Coy has been very. It was popular, but maybe that's just me being dumb and in my own world. But
In
so
the
I don't
comedy
know.
world, we know who he is. I will also say I watched his movie Easter Sunday, and I
Mhm,
loved he put so many Filipino in them. I'm not Filipino, but I love Filipinos, and I love
mhm,
seeing Filipino people get put on. I watched
mhm.
Easter Sunday, ton of Filipino people in it. Eugene Cordero was in it, who is great. He's been in Loki. Like, Joe Coy's been
Yeah.
putting people on. But at the same time, Easter Sunday was kind of, it was not a great movie either. Like, he's not had a good time crossing over into the mainstream. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, I just don't think he'll always, he's still gonna do arenas. He's coming to our area in
Yep.
March, and that arena will be sold out.
And I mean, I will say there like the last time because I think they changed it. It's like Liberty Trust Arena or something, but it was like Ralston
Yep.
Arena.
Yep.
And he came there before, like maybe what 2 years ago, and I went and saw him, and I had a good time.
Yeah.
I've liked Joe Coy. I was partially raised by a Filipino. I had a Filipino nanny, so
Oh,
whenever he
okay.
talks about his mom, I just remember. I don't know. It connects.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's great.
he's great.
But it
But
was
yeah,
it was so it was
the
tough,
Barbie.
and the
Yeah.
Barbie joke was so
And the pans to the people listening. That was kind of
that's
tough.
just rude,
Do
though.
you
That's
do
also
you think
rude.
that they put a laugh track over? That was another thing that I saw people
Maybe,
criticizing was that it sounded like
maybe,
they were sweetening
but
the
I
laughs.
don't care about that. Here's what I'll tell you, just from editing clips and, like, watching social media and stuff, like, it's it's hard to capture the laughter of a room. Like,
Oh
when they
yeah.
film specials, you have to mic the audience in very specific ways in order to get the audio from the room. So it's hard. I don't blame people
Mhm.
for that. The same way I don't blame people for, like, lip syncing or what. I don't care. I don't care. I went and watched the Taylor Swift movie. Here's all I'll say about Taylor Swift. I
Yes.
went and watched the Taylor Swift movie. It was great. It was very good. I don't know Taylor Swift well. I don't know her music at all. I went with some friends that love Taylor Swift, and I wanted to see the Beyonce movie, and they were coming out
Mhm.
in the same year, and I didn't think it would be fair to my friends who love Taylor Swift to have a conversation where we talk about the two movies together and not have seen or known the Taylor. So I went to the Taylor Swift movie, and I'm watching it, and the thing I find most impressive is she's in front of, 20,000 people. She's singing her heart out. She's playing music. She's the only person up there, and she is
Mhm.
so in control. Like, she's so poised and in control. And as I'm sitting there watching to myself, I'm thinking, I don't care if she's lip syncing. Like, I don't think she is. I think she's
Yeah.
singing. But if she was, I don't care. Why not? There's 20,000 people there. I don't want to hear you mess up a single half of a syllable. Like,
Yeah.
you can't, but she's not shaking. She's
Yeah.
unflappable, you know?
Mhm.
And she's not doing a ton of dancing or anything, but I mean, but she's still unflappable, and I think that's very impressive. But if she's lip syncing, or if any celebrity is lip syncing while, they're doing SNL or they're performing
Mhm.
live shows or all that
Yeah,
stuff,
I
that's
there
fine.
was
I don't care. And if they sweeten the audience for award shows, I also don't care. I don't care.
valid. There was a lot of I don't know, she's like she's newer to me, but she's really popular right now. Her name's Tate McRae,
Yeah, I
but
know.
she was like getting a lot of flack because she's like a dancer, and so she's
Mhm.
like dancing, and she's got this thing, and so a lot of a lot of it's just like the pre-recorded track playing and not really her singing because she's dancing, and
Right. And
And
if you're
people
not
were like,
Beyonce, then, I don't hold you to those, we can't all be Beyonce.
yeah, no,
Beyonce can
yeah.
do it,
And then
and
people
some
were
people
saying
can't
like,
dance and sing,
yeah,
but Beyonce can. So, you know,
yeah. But me and not a lot of people I feel like go to bat for Beyonce anymore.
they
And
should
so
because
they
she's
should.
literally unmatched. I saw her
There was
movie, I cried. I
that's
cried. I
beautiful,
cried in
Cameron.
the first 2 minutes. I was just because if Beyonce can be everything,
Mhm.
we can be anything,
Yeah,
is what I'm telling you. Like Beyonce,
beautiful.
there's a reason that Beyonce is and she's a billionaire, she's whatever, and she's got a
Yes, yes.
team and she's got all this, but Beyonce represents so much that hasn't been represented. And Beyonce doesn't represent me. She's not me. I don't see myself in Beyonce, but I see the beauty of possibility for
Mm,
Beyonce. Like the Beyonce could do it. The people that she inspires, the people that are around me, the people that are at the show, they're weeping, they're in tears, and they're moved because it's like if Beyonce is everything, we can be anything.
be
And that's all
anything.
I'm
I
saying. That's all I'm saying.
that's such a bar. That's such a bar.
Taylor Swift is great. Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. She's great. She's the top of the game. She's been
Mhm.
at it for a long time. She's
Yeah.
whatever. But, I don't watch Taylor. I'm not inspired by Taylor Swift. I'm impressed by
Mhm.
Taylor Swift. I'm like, oh
Yes.
yes, what you have done and what you have accomplished is very good. You're great, cool. But she is not Beyonce. She's not doing what I don't want to. I'm gonna get. I don't. I'm already. I don't want to go. I don't want to go there.
You're in a safe place for these. I this is safe. I
No place
agree.
is safe.
No, this is yeah, let me change my background. let, me, let me make this a safe place again. Because right now, this is not safe. This is safe. Now we're safe. This feels like you're gonna visit your grandma at the care center. This
Yeah.
is this is safe.
They're
But
gonna
I
bring they're gonna
agree
bring 8-year-olds in to play on that piano. They're gonna play
on that
little
piano.
sad renditions of "Up on the Housetop." Up, up, up.
That's great. Oh my gosh. So I don't know. I saw you on Facebook reaching out asking people if they had seen the Cat Williams interview.
Yeah.
I would like to discuss. I will say I've only seen an hour and 40 something minutes of it, but I feel like I saw the rest of it on TikTok. There
Yeah.
was no clip that I saw that was the same twice. Um, yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
I think similar to the Taylor Swift thing, it's like the Taylor Swift conversation is not for me to weigh in on necessarily.
Mm,
And the Cat Williams thing is not for me to weigh in on necessarily, but I am interested in the dialogue because the parts
mm-hmm,
of both that bleed into what we do specifically is all about it's about comedy. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So there's some my things that I watched the whole Cat Williams thing. The things that I took away from the Cat Williams thing were that he said some really brilliant things about words. He said some really brilliant things about comedy writing that I think that for anybody we could be really inspired by. Like so for when it comes to like words, like Shannon Sharp asked him a question like, uh, do you think Eddie Murphy or Richard Pryor could make the jokes that they can make today? And he said no. He's like they couldn't make the
Mm-hmm.
jokes today. They couldn't do that. And Shannon Sharp wanted to like really get you with a gotcha, you know. And I
Yeah.
and you're at the open mics around here. You go to these shows around here. You know how these people feel about comedy and about words. All these
Yes.
Joe Rogan Experience fans
Yes.
and everything that they have to say. And Cat Williams, I think, to me, put them perfectly in their place. He said they just wouldn't tell those jokes today. They wouldn't do it. He's like, and words evolve. He said back then there are words we could say and now we can't say them anymore, and then we
Mm-hmm.
found new words to use instead, and today we have words that we can use, and then one day we won't be able to use those words anymore. And he said what I think all comedians should say, which is, but I am a person who makes their career out of understanding and using the language that we have and using words, And so I will just find a new way around it. I will just work harder or
Mhm.
nobody says that. These Joe
Yeah,
Rogan heads are not saying that. These Joe Rogan
correct.
heads don't say, they say, well, I want to say what I want to say. Well, I want to
Mhm.
say the words. Shut up. Just write better. Be better. What are
Yes,
you talking about? Evolve,
right
grow,
from your
change.
own experience.
It's the same fucking reason you wouldn't be writing G Willikers at the end because fucking words change and evolve. So you don't say stupid shit anymore. That's what else do you need? That's
Yeah,
it. I thought that was
yeah,
great. And so I thought that was a
yes.
really great point that Kat said. And then everything he said about writing. He said, look, I write my hours, I perform the hell out of them, I do
Mhm.
all this stuff. And I think that's all, I mean, I loved that. So my biggest
Yeah.
takeaways from the whole Cat thing, especially as stuff has died down, is like, you know, a lot of that conversation is not for me to weigh in on, but the parts that are that I think, it's about comedy, and the same stuff with Joe Coy. The same stuff with Joe Coy. It's like,
Mhm.
what do we know about comedy? Well, read the room, man.
Yeah,
Read the
fair
room.
enough.
And I think that, so these are the things I think that for both of those instances, that's what we should be taking away as
Mhm.
comics that we should be taking away. For different people, different demographics, different, you might take different parts of it, but that's the stuff that we should be talking about. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like comics are not talking about that stuff enough.
No, yeah. And I feel yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I've been at war recently with
Mm,
people that I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to do except like whenever you get in spaces with other comics where you share ideas, and so
mhm.
when you start talking about jokes, then that creates an opportunity to be like, "Hey, let's move away from the," like I feel like that's the only way to like get around people, like, and to have those conversations. But other than that, it's just like they get on stage, they say the bullshit, and you're like, there it is.
Yeah. But that's what's hard about that is like they're so sensitive. They're so sensitive about being told they can't say something.
Hmm.
And it's like there's so much stuff we
Also,
can't
we're not, it's like we're not asking. We're maybe just maybe no more slurs. Maybe
Yeah.
like maybe not using words of groups that you're not a part of, or like
Pick a
I
different
don't, yeah.
subject matter. You have
Maybe
the
talk
ent
about yourself.
you have all of human existence to talk about.
Yes.
Your experiences, other people, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? If you line up your set next to somebody else's set, I'm talking to these people at, mics and shows and stuff. If you line up
Hmm.
these sets next to each other and you all pick the same stupid topics,
Hmm.
maybe you're not trying hard enough. Did you, because that's the other
Yeah.
thing. Like the sad part about all of this is that it's become so hack. It's like hack.
Yes.
It's hack for
Yes.
y'all to be talking about half the stuff that they're talking about.
Hmm.
Shut up.
Hmm. I
Move on.
like, yeah. I don't know. I've never, and the comics that I admire in the scene and that I look up to and that I think are really funny, the same, it's just never feel drawn because it's like not. It's just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I just feel like it's important in comedy to speak from your experience, and I know I've like Zach Peterson has done like the best with the writing workshops and like
Mhm.
I guess coaching people through some of these like ideas where he's like, all right, if this is where we're going, like, how does it relate to you? Like, just bringing it back to,
Sometimes I wish more people would listen to him.
I know,
Like
like, I'm like,
the
listen.
patron saint that is Zach Peterson, because he is out here
Yes,
trying.
yes, yes,
He's like a kindergarten teacher. It's like
yes.
this
He's
is an
so
ex
gentle with them too.
he's so gentle. It is an exhausting job.
Yes.
Nobody wants to do it.
Mhm.
They're not gonna listen to you anyway, and yet every day he's still like, "Okay, carpet time." You know what I mean? Like, he's so
Such just someone
patient,
with just love of the game. Just
but they
love
don't
and
listen. And I
yeah.
don't think and I think there are other people that do a really good job of trying to lead by example. You know what I mean? Like, there are people that I think are writing and working from place like, I love Tyler.
Mhm.
Walsh, and I think Tyler does a really good job of just like leading by example. I think that
Mhm.
Lauren and Megan do a really good job of leading by example. But you know, I I I'm just amazed. I'm amazed at how many people can watch everything that's happening. You watch the blowback that a Joe Coy gets. You look at
Mhm.
people say, "I don't like that." You look around at the audience. How come they're not paying attention when they're bombing? Because none of these comics are good, not around here. And if you go to Austin and you see some of these people that are really kind of these edgelord comics, they were drawing these edgelords out of the internet and out of these places, and
Mhm.
they're being hyped up, right?
Yeah.
So I could understand why, if you're a part of that group, why you think like, oh, I should keep doing this because this is what the people want. You
Mhm.
have to do a deeper level of work to look at the audience and go, are these is this good? Like, are these the people that I want hyping me? Is this how I want to be perceived? But I don't think those people care because those people are still coming out. But these motherfuckers are bombing.
And it's like I mean, I blame a lot of people in this situation. I feel like also for like local showrunners, it's important to like there's people that are like enabling the bomb like I don't know. I could honestly go into a full rant. Also, this is just me on this. I feel like the double standard for like maybe you have a new guy versus like a new girl. Sorry to make it women versus men, but like a new guy coming in this stand up is bombing, and then like the people will well the guys will accept him more, put him on, make sure he's getting booked on shows, whereas like the girl just stays like it's very hard to progress. Whereas I feel like guys that are I mean consistently bombing, I've never seen them do
Consistently.
well, are just getting like put on by the people around them, and I don't it really bothers me and I don't understand it. Um, but yeah, I just feel like if maybe there was people who wouldn't enable certain comics, I don't know. Maybe there would be a little bit of an improvement, but
It's hard. I think that if you're in this scene or any smaller scene by comparison, the thing that, what I talk about with some of like the veterans or people that do comedy in other cities and stuff is uh there's no it's hard to have accountability when it's so insular and it's small, so there's no like
yeah,
checks and balance system. You know what I
correct.
mean? And there are multiple comedy scenes in larger cities. If you're in Austin or Chicago or Denver or New York or wherever, there are different scenes, there are different groups. We have basically
Mhm.
one small scene. We're in this one kind of melting pot together. And the difference is that we're we're in basically we're in this like we're in like this hot melting pot of what is predominantly gross grease oil, right? And it's hot. And if you try to drop a drop of fresh water in that mug, that shit is gonna pop right out. It's not
Oh
gonna
yeah.
stay in, because it's not separated. It doesn't have an opportunity to like breathe, and so it's really hard to sustain. Truthfully, I've talked with several people in the scene about how great it is that people like y- you and Lauren and Megan and some people like that are like hanging on so strong and like trying to create a new corner because in an ideal world that supports itself. And I think that people like Zach who have been showrunners, right,
Mhm.
try to support lots of people that are doing
Oh
it well
yeah.
and do a good job.
Yes.
But a lot of us don't run shows. You know what I mean? Like I don't run a
Yeah.
show, and I don't want to run a show. It's too much fucking work. I
It's
can't.
it
And for what? For what payoff? But it is a service to the community. It's a service to the
yes.
community. And I feel bad that I'm
Yes.
not a better, you know, servant of this community. But I have, there were times when I was around here, I was running shows and doing stuff. But I also think that when
Mhm.
I first started comedy, there were more people trying to support better comedy, better levels
Yeah.
of higher levels of thinking, more diverse levels of thinking, more accepting places, more safer spaces. And I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that a space is safe. These dudes get so tripped up on, oh, it's a safe
Yeah.
space. It's safe. Yeah, because nobody gives a fuck about you, the comedian. There are at the most, which there shouldn't be this many, but there are at the most 8 of you on a show.
Yeah.
I want 50 people in the audience. I want 50 people in the audience.
Mhm.
And I care more about those 50 people than I do about you. And I watch them
Mhm.
just fucking cross their arms and be disappointed. And then there's one dude in a trench coat that's like, this is for me. And that guy keeps coming back. And then he starts
You're
doing
like
comedy 2 weeks later. And I'm like, fuck, what was this for? Why did we even do this? We're not, people in Omaha can't be fans of comedy
Mhm.
because we're not servicing the people. They're
Mhm.
servicing themselves. It's their favorite
Mhm.
thing to do, you know?
My snaps. Oh my gosh, that was very yeah. Yes. I
Yeah.
I don't really have anything to add on to that except yes.
Yeah.
Um 9
But
times
I
out
but
of
I
10.
am so thankful. I am thankful for people like you. I am thankful for people like Lauren and Megan. I'm thankful for people
Mhm.
like Walsh and Zach, like
Mhm.
people that I think are upholding a higher standard, people that are trying, people that are
Yeah.
adapting and changing. You know what I mean? Um I think that's important, you know.
I will tip my hat to Megan, and I wanna have Megan back on sometime because, I mean, I feel like Megan has just, mothered me in a way where it's like, "We need to raise our standards." I feel like I didn't have anyone, like, to just be so blatant with me of, like, "You're better than this situation, you're better than this group," or, like, just, like, what,
Yeah.
you're associating yourself with, like, someone to just be like, so I can't take all the credit for the betterment of, like, standards. I feel like
It's
I
not
do
your
follow
response
line.
it's not your responsibility. I mean, like, again, not to make it a men and women thing, it's not your responsibility as a young woman in the scene to raise the standards. You should just be allowed to come in here and try and fail and try again just as much as every fucking dude has for the last 10 years,
Mhm.
but that space hasn't always existed. And there have been times in the scene where it has existed more. There are times when it has existed less. Um, but it's not your job to carry it. It's just your job to be able to try it. But I've watched a lot of people try to start in the scene and they quit because it's just not for them. And when you look
Mhm.
at the lineups of some of the shows, or when you look at the content, or you look at what people are doing, yeah, it's like, oh, this isn't going to be for me. And
Yeah.
audiences feel that same way. I see audiences come into these smaller shows all the time and they go, "Oh, I thought this would be different."
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
disappointed. And they're disappointed.
Mhm.
And that sucks, because it's hard to build a good audience for the city in that way. And then other people don't want to really come from out of town because they're like, well, Omaha audiences only like blank.
Yes.
Well, you're talking about 20 people who came because they saw a dude go, I just think I should be able to talk about Barbie, like those are the only
Yes.
people that showed up. But if they go to a sick ass show at Tiny House, they're like, oh, all different types of voices and all different types of comedy can survive here. And the
Yep.
standards are higher and the audience is smart and the audience are
Mhm.
comedy fans and they want to laugh. But that Tiny House audience, which is sick and I love, my favorite place to
Yeah.
perform in the city,
Mhm.
they're not coming to some of these other venues and watching these shows because those shows are not curated with the same
Yep.
standards.
Correct. There's
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. And yeah, it sucks. I think that's what's always like heartbreaking when you see someone who I don't want to say like not ready, but just isn't curating a comedy show with comedy in mind. It's more so with like
Mhm.
I don't know what it honestly what else it could be, but just like you're like wow. So that whatever whoever comes to that show Which, okay, so I do want to bring up this is kind of something that I saw online, and it's kind of off topic but not really. Um have you heard of people using gig salad?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I've no idea what this is, but it was just like something that I saw that comics were getting into using, where
Right.
people can go online and can book you for these private events.
Yeah.
And that is unchecked. That is like so scary. I
It's pretty
oh my,
unchecked. It's
that
pretty
like,
unchecked.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
unchecked.
I
It's also kind of a pay to play system too, which is tough.
sure.
Like the way the Gig Salad or some of these other places work is like you can pay as a performer, you can pay a subscription
Mhm.
to be like at the top of the list. You can pay to bump yourself up, and you can do the different things. And truthfully, um a lot of people that go to those places and they're trying to book comedians and stuff, it's like holiday parties or a work party or a
Sure.
birthday. They don't really know what they want. They're like they remember stand-up comedy from the TV show Seinfeld. Like they don't really even know what they want or what they're gonna get.
Yeah.
Um, but the thing that I think you might, and correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe you're just talking about like sometimes people are jumping onto these services a little too soon in their
I
career,
yes.
and they say
People
things
that
like, I can do 30 minutes, I can do 60 minutes, and then somebody pays them two, three, four, five, 1,500, 2,000, $3,000 to do a gig, and then
mhm.
they suck so hard. And then they're like, "Oh, we're never doing comedy again."
That is like, I mean, I this is like a new, I haven't heard of it until this year,
Mhm.
and I'm like, that to me is like such a threat to like but then again, I also am like, you know what, shame on the consumer. Like I feel like that's not the way to book comedy. But I don't know.
I mean, it's hard because people don't know, and part of the
No,
reason
true.
why they don't know is because we have very few spaces for comedians to perform.
Yeah.
We also, because we're in a small market, by the time people have that kind of time, because we could sit here and we could list out the comics in our scene that have 30 minutes. Legitimately 30,
Yes.
not, oh, I did 30 minutes, not this is no, 30 minutes
Has it.
of material that they've got more than an hour. They pared it down to 30. It's a tight 30. It can be clean, it can be dirty, it can be whatever. It can match different like legitimately 30 minutes. I'm not talking about 60. I'm talking about 30. There are a handful
Mhm.
of people that legitimately have the time. And people in the city don't know where to find
Who
them. They
yeah.
don't know how to find them. And we're a small market because once people have that much time, people usually leave. They usually
True.
leave. And good for them. Good for them. You know what I mean? If you or Lauren or anybody that if y'all left Omaha in the next few years for greener pastures to go, and it's like repotting plants. You outgrow your pot and you got to move up to a bigger pot, and and that's how you grow. That's how you go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna get root bound, right? It's about plants.
Like you were sitting on that one. You're like, I got these plants behind me. This is gonna make for just a sick.
Uh,
It's that was good. Yeah.
but
I don't
you
know.
know, but so I think that that's the other problem too. Is like, at a certain point, you get to a certain level, and you're gonna quit or you're gonna leave, and that makes it hard for the average person who's just trying to hire comics to find
True.
people. Because where do they go? They
Yeah.
go to the Funny Bone, they go to the back line maybe. Um,
Mhm.
and literally outside of that, they don't have an avenue. They're gonna Google it and they'll go to Gig Salad, and whoever's on there, whoever decided they were gonna pay for the subscription, that's who they're gonna get. And there's some people on there that are very good. There's
Yeah.
some people on there that are very good, but also anybody could be on there. It could be anybody.
True.
And
Yeah.
so and people are too confident, but they also, I don't know.
I don't
It's
know. Yeah.
it's tough.
That was something that I been wanting to discuss because I've only been seeing people talk about it online, and I was like, didn't know how like much this was being used. Like I don't
Yeah.
know,
I
but
will say again, because our scene is so small, I will say you could probably name all the people that are on it and actually making money from it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the ones that are actually doing it and doing it well, they're good comics and they've been doing it a long time and they're not even all in our market. Some people are at the top of our
hmm
market, but they're from different cities. They're
yeah,
like Nathan Holtz. Do you know Nathan Holtz
yeah.
he's a good comic. He's from up north. He's like one of the top comics on Gig Salad for the city of Omaha, but he's not from here.
He's
He's
not
just
from
in our market. Our market is small, you know.
yeah.
Our market is small, so that's a hard part of it too. I think the biggest issue though, and the issue that we will continue to run into with comics in Omaha, is people once they get to a certain level, they have to leave, and so our scene will only ever be able to support comics of a certain skill level. And so that because of
True.
that, it will never be I think it'll be very hard for our scene to ever be as good as any of these other major scenes. And I think we'll have a lot of people from here one day. We'll have a lot of
hmm
people that are like, "Oh, I started there, or I'm from there." But
Yep.
we're gonna be really hard pressed to be like, "Oh, my favorite comic lives in like somebody in the world isn't gonna be like my favorite comedian lives in Omaha." Like that's not
Yeah.
gonna. I have to go to Omaha to see a comedy show. Like I'm not gonna. Let's get our plane tickets.
Oh my gosh.
Got to get a
Uh,
connecting flight.
to our airport with 3 terminals or however many.
We've got 2 right now, but it's under renovation, so I think they're actually downsizing it. They're just gonna make it 1, try to save
I
room.
remember like my first time in that airport. I no one told me either, really. Because I was leaving for a flight to Pittsburgh and I had never flown out of this airport. So I do
Mm,
the thing where you show up like 4 hours early, way too early, and then I go
yeah.
in. I'm like, I'm gonna go to Scooters, I guess. Like I don't know what to do.
You're gonna go to Cracky McGee's?
Yeah.
Did you go to Cracky's?
It's like I'm gonna spend $50 on nothing
Yeah.
for I don't know my Spirit flight or whatever I was on.
I don't even think Spirit flies out of Omaha. That sounds.
That's funny. I genuinely have no idea. I don't know. Maybe I had enough money for Delta back then, but
Yeah. There you go.
one can only wish. I don't know what the good non-controversial airlines are anymore.
I don't
I
either
just
because everybody complains about all of them.
like,
Oh, you're flying American? Oh my God. United? Delta?
yeah, there's always something wrong. I'm like
Southwest? I don't know, man. I just
maybe I think it was
whatever's
Frontier.
cheapest. That's it. All right, Frontier's trash. I know Frontier's
No,
trash.
Frontier is trash.
They got a
But
little animal on the side of all their
it's a
planes.
bear. It's a
Yeah.
bear. Well, oh, maybe there's other animals, but I thought it was specifically the bear.
Sometimes it's a bear, it's other animal. All I know is that I know that those flights are trash because I'll get emails for them. And they're like, you can take a $45 flight to, Denver or Seattle or whatever. You have to pay for windows. You have to pay for wings on the plane. Is an upcharge for seatbelts. You have to pilot it, and you have to get your hours. But you can get in the plane too. Like, so I know Frontier sucks because they got all the upcharges. But if I'm paying a flat fee, whatever. Like, they're all the same. Unless
There
I'm
used
on
to
a private jet, they're all the damn same.
Well, maybe if one of these Omaha comedians can pull up, we'll get on a private jet. Cameron, you're in the running. We need you to just
Yeah.
just lock in.
Yeah, if
You
you
want to
need
go
it so bad, stop trying to get me on a gotcha with a Taylor Swift question because
I
I'll
will
never
say,
do it. I will never get out of here.
I will say, whenever a comic that like, have you heard of blah 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 blah, and then I look at their following, I go, well, Cameron has like over 1 million on TikTok. Like, I literally, you are the basis, and then I'm like, okay, but like Cameron's got like 600,000 on Instagram. Like, I don't. This is nothing.
That's so funny. That's so funny because like we're all friends in the scene, so we're all like closer and more accessible to each other. So you'll meet like a for real, like a big time comedian, Tonight Show, Netflix, blah blah blah, and you're like, Cameron has that, and this dude's right the fuck here. Like, I went before him at the open mic. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, my screen froze.
Oh no, it's too
All right,
cold.
as long as you can still, yeah, I think it's. I can't see anything.
I can hear you.
All right, that's fine. I'll talk to the void for a little bit.
Am I
don't
frozen?
care.
Is my screen frozen?
Everything's frozen on my end.
Only see
Don't
a
worry.
Okay.
Your face looks very bad the way that it is frozen. I am.
Yours looks good. You look like you're laughing. I'm a screenshot. I'll screenshot.
Yeah. Yeah, I am. God, this cough. This cough is scaring away the hose. This is not.
I was sick for like a week, and I feel like I haven't been that sick in years. Even when I got COVID.
Oh my gosh.
I got COVID in 21 and 22, and I had to quarantine, but I only like felt bad for like a couple days. But I was just sick for like 7 days, no COVID, nothing. And I was like, what is wrong with me? What is this? I hate this.
Oh, now my screen's white. All right.
Oh, there you go.
I think I'm back. Yes.
You're back. Yeah.
I'm gonna say whatever happened, it was because Grace did it. Grace, I love you. I'll give you.
Grace is great.
She is great. I don't know who I would be without her. Nothing. I swear to God, I thought I was dying last week because I took the COVID test, did not have COVID.
Mhm.
I was just sick, like, and I mean, I had this cough and like I just felt I couldn't eat.
You have were you achy? Do you have like the sweats and chills?
Yes, I hate the aches.
That's
the
the
aches
shit
are.
I had. That's that shit. I had that exact same thing. We probably got it from Chops, is what happened. You know, in matter of fact, it was the fried chicken. It's the fact that we went to a buffet. I told myself in 2020, the year of our Lord, I said, I will never eat at a buffet again. And then here I was, riblets.
Feathered bones. I don't know what they. I remember like I
put my fingers in bowling balls.
The most unhinged. So, for those who aren't included, we went to for New Year's Eve. We did. This was all set up. Lauren's very proud. This was set up by Lauren Vanna. I'm really proud of her. She planned it herself. She didn't plan the event. She simply just said, "We're going to this." It's. She picked out the menu. I would actually tackle her. I literally. That menu was insane. I was like, why didn't they just do like pizza? Like why is it like the most complicated? Is this New Year's Eve food? Like all of a sudden I'm like, is this the genre of New Year's Eve food?
Literally like you ran into a family fair and you were like, give me everything from the deli. Yeah.
And like the containers that it was in, I was like, oh, someone made this at home. Like someone made this at home and brought it in.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I also had not eaten that day. And so I went into that situation. And then I was like, well, great. I can't really eat here either. And so I pecked at my beans. And then I think I ate 5 Jell-O shots. And I was like,
yeah. Just beans and Jell-O shots. Getting ready for 2024.
And then, so I know. What a freaking insane. So we got very loose. We went to Tiny House after that bowling excursion.
Mm-hmm.
And I had really only been consuming alcohol, little to no food in my stomach. And all I remember is going up to the bartender being like, I need food now, and I don't care what it is.
They give you like olives and cucumbers.
They had chips in a bowl, but I tried to just be like, I didn't eat today. I've been drinking a lot. It's going to get really bad if I don't have something right now. No. And then I think we left like 20 minutes later. I was like, I need to go home.
That's so funny.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I'll never.
that's definitely where we got sick. That's
Yes,
it.
something like that.
Because I started
But
getting sick on the 2nd, and so then
yeah,
I just got over it just now.
I had a very very rocky start to my new year. A flat tire. I
Oh,
mean,
no.
yes, the night of bowling, I had a completely flat tire. I had to call my boss to come change my tire so that I could come to
Why?
Omaha to bowl.
Why'd you call your
I
boss?
what else you could change a tire in Lincoln? So I
Everyone.
just
Everyone else can change a tire.
Well, whenever my car goes out of whack, I just have this habit of just calling my boss for backswing, which I haven't worked for them
Is your
in like
boss a
almost 3
mechanic?
months.
You ain't
I
got a
just like,
friend?
oh my gosh.
They stopped.
Um,
They saw that phone ring and they're like, "I thought you quit. What is this?"
and it's the way I slipped them 20 for doing it too. I was like, thanks. Thanks for coming out.
Here's money
Like,
from my new job to pay you to do not your job.
and what's funny is I had texted because this was at Backswing. So I texted him
Okay.
earlier in the day, like, I think I'm gonna come in for a beer, say hey to everyone. And then he was like, "Yeah, come in whenever." And then I did it. And then I just called him, being like, "Hey, I need my tires flat. I
Yeah, I'm gonna
need you to
come in
come."
and support your business. Psych. Need your help though.
The way I'm like, I don't work there really now, and I'm like, "But can I still do comedy?" And they're like, "Fine."
Oh,
Just
that's good. They still let you run the show?
which
That's
I
good.
think I was gonna do a New Year's show, but no one wanted to work on New Year's. Everyone was so busy.
I had a bowling alley to get to.
Yeah. I was like, I think I asked everyone who's at this bowling alley to be on my show for New Year's, and
And
everyone
everybody
said they
said
couldn't.
no.
No. And then I mean, looking back, I was like, yeah, this is a lot more fun than
We made the right call.
we did make the right call.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'll leave it at that. But
Yeah.
it's like petty. Oh my gosh. I need to go. I've been taking the cough medicine. It's not cough medicine, but it's Cepacol. Cepacol.
Okay.
It's thank you.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna.
It's
I don't know.
I
Take your word
thought
for it.
maybe you know.
Sure. Is it the throat spray?
No, that's
I saw you.
chloroseptic.
Oh, that's chloroseptic. Okay.
Chloroseptic, which people need to get on. I didn't realize how much people did not know about chloroseptic.
I had it when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I would be like, yeah.
Yeah, because it helps with it takes the pain away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now
Yeah.
everyone's like, just get a cough drop. No.
Yeah. It's a weird lesson. Like, just numb the pain. It doesn't fix anything. Nothing is fixed. You're literally
And
just
it never will
numbing.
be. Yeah. You're making yeah, I don't know. But this cough better go away because I can't even get a good laugh out without throwing a lung. Like,
Yeah.
and I feel bad. I feel like Grace has made like 30 notes already. Joslyne's hacking. I have to
That's
edit it out.
funny.
Or maybe not. Keep the hacking in. Let them know.
I don't know how we ended up. I did want to. Are you a
Sorry.
Swiftie? Are you a Swiftie?
I do like some songs, but I'm not going to bat for her on TikTok in the comments.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay. Just curious.
Yeah. I have gone to a Taylor Swift concert though.
Okay. In person?
1989 in Pittsburgh, where she's from. So
Okay.
that was,
Isn't she from Is she not from Nashville?
That's a sham. She's from Pittsburgh. Let me double check
Oh.
this, but I know she's from Pittsburgh.
What if like her parents took her to Nashville because she was
So
rich?
legend has it that she made her first album or whatever song, and legend has it it's all a scam. How she blew up is a scam, but that could just be misogynistic people hating on her. And
Could be.
I want you to know I was trying to look up Pittsburgh like Taylor Swift, and I just typed in Pittsburgh Steelers. That's it.
Wrong
That's where
team.
my wrong team. Pittsburgh Taylor Swift. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's pulling me up
Okay. Yeah,
Arizona.
I don't know why did I think she was from Nashville? Or did she just went there to do country music? I
I
would guess,
think
maybe.
there's got to be weight to it. God, maybe our next episode we'll get a real fan on here.
Yeah. Yeah, that
I'm
would
just kidding. I don't know if I could go
you
tit
should
for
try to
tat with
book
a real
her.
Swiftie.
You should try to book her.
Oh, so she was born in West Reading, Pennsylvania, and then moved to Hendersonville, Tennessee, so she could pursue her country music career in Nashville.
Okay.
So, yes.
Where would you, if you were, how old was she when she did that? Probably like 12 or something?
When she was 13,
13.
she moved to Nashville.
When you were 13, what career did you want, and where do you think you would have had to move to in order to like set yourself on the path?
My whole life, I was
Yeah.
told that I was going to be a surgeon, and I
Okay.
wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. And I'm telling you, even like when I got into like middle school and high school, that was like the track I got put on, was like medical. This girl's gonna be an orthopedic surgeon. And so I was told, you're gonna be an orthopedic surgeon or sports medicine, and then come back to Pittsburgh and pick of the litter as far as teams goes. Just any one of them.
There you go.
So that's what I thought. But now
So
I am
where would you have ended up? Where would you have ended up at 13 for like pre-med training to become like the young savant? You know what I mean? Like, what's your Taylor Swift origin story? You're 13, you're gonna be a surgeon. Where are you going? Where's the Mayo Clinic? Minnesota? Would you have to go to the Mayo Clinic? I don't know.
I don't know if I'd have to go to the Mayo Clinic.
Where's the orthopedic surgery capital of the world?
That's a good question. I will tell you what ended up happening was our family got moved to New Mexico, and I joined HOSA, which is Health Occupation Students of America, and I competed.
In health occupation?
Yeah, so it was like, I remember like one of the competitions was like, they would set it up like you're walking in on like a dead body, and you have to assess the situation, but you have to do it like according to like medical standards. And me and my best friend, we like competed, and yeah, it was a whole thing. That was my path.
I didn't know that's real. That'd make a good movie.
Oh, it was so intense. Oh my gosh, I've always wanted to talk about this, but yeah, it was this competition, and my mom came, and she yelled at me the whole time, and I forgot all my equipment. It was a whole mess. It was bad.
No, like your stethoscope?
Yes, and so there was an ER, and so I ran into the ER, and I was like, I'm in this competition, and I need this equipment. Help me. And they did. And then I think me and my friend, we almost had to take the bus back to the hotel because my mom was like, I'm not driving you.
Wow, she really held you to that standard. She's out there like, I don't know, like what's the dance mom equivalent of surgery? Trying to get you with the scalpel, you know?
She was. I mean, I think maybe she was seeing in the future there could be a potential check she could collect later on in life. And I clearly haven't.
When look, if you're like, these are the competitions you're entering, it's going to be surgery competitions, figure this shit out. That's going to go a lot further than being like, hey, play football. You know what I mean? People be putting their third graders in football helmets like, yeah, you're going to be able to support me one day. These kids can't hold their heads up. They're bobbling around with CTE and shit. They can't make it. You know what I mean? And people are like, you're the future of our family. Put them in surgery club or whatever.
Surgery club?
I don't know.
No, It kind of was. It was surgery club. That's fair enough.
That's cool.
But yeah. And then I
All
moved to
right.
Nebraska, and my dad was like, "I thought you hated biology," and I was like, "You're pretty right about that." And I stopped.
Oh no. All right. So that's what you
You see?
probably would have. But what did you want to be? What did you want to be?
Nothing.
You didn't want to be anything.
Genuinely, no. This
Mm.
is I honestly what I'm doing right now. I don't even. This is good. This is fine.
That's funny.
I don't really. I never wanted to be anything. Like, I just was like, I don't know. If I can just giggle all day, that's a good job. I don't care where it is.
That's what I mean. That's comedy and podcasts. That's what it is.
And that's, I mean, at the time when I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life, I was working at an Old Navy, and I was like, I guess I'm just gonna spend the rest of my life at this Old Navy, and I was okay with that.
You could be giggling at an Old Navy though.
Oh, and I was cutting a rug. I don't know if I used that right, but I was like, I still go back and visit my Old Navy people, and
Those little mannequins with the little mannequin dog.
and I used to dress them. Those things are heavy. They're heavy. Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
I remember I thought Old Navy was my life. I thought that was gonna be it. So, but
Would you were working there in high school?
Yes, and I was a manager at like 18. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah. They send somebody over. Can you get your manager? Joslyne walks over, just giggling.
unserious as hell. No, I was the fun manager. Like, everyone, I was constantly getting pulled in meetings because it was like, you're not being. It was unserious because my job, and I'm so sorry this has become the Old Navy podcast, but my job was, I came in at 5 a.m. and I'd go in the back, and I was supposed to lead our shipment team through like thousands of units. We'd get thousands of units, and so it was my job to like make sure everyone unpacked.
Does that mean box?
Yes, but like, I mean, pallets high,
right. They're
like,
wrapped in saran wrap, and you got to cut them open, and yeah.
Yes, but it would be the most. And so I did that, and then finally they promoted me to manager because they're like, "You like doing this," and I was like, "We."
Look, we cannot get a grown adult with a family to do this job. We cannot.
And like, I had such a good attitude for 5 a.m. And so that was like, I was like, 5 a.m. sucks to be here. We're at least gonna have fun. And that was my attitude. And then I got transferred to another store. So.
Cracking jokes over the walkie-talkie. This is why you're a comic. That's why. You knew the whole time. You had the little headset or whatever, you know. Yeah,
and sorry, I'll wrap it up on this one thing. But I had this boss, Laura, and Laura is like in her 40s. She hated me. She made me cry on my first day. So I was like, I am gonna make this woman laugh and love me. Like, I don't care what it takes. And even to this day, I took Lauren to meet Laura at Old Navy. I still make Laura giggle to this day.
You know what makes me sad about that? Because here's something I learned. The older I get. No. Completely innocuous. Not related to that. What makes me sad about it is that you said that Laura was in her 40s. I know damn well you were 18. Laura was probably 27. Okay. When you worked with Laura, Laura's in her 40s now. Maybe. She might be pushing 35. But I know. You do that. You ever do that thing where you're an adult and you're like, wait a minute, my first grade teacher was only 21? What the fuck? I thought that was Professor McGonagall. What is happening?
I know she was 40.
Okay.
I checked her age because there was a moment in time where I was like, if my dad wasn't in a happy marriage, I would have set him up with Laura.
So you liked Laura. You liked Laura. Okay. Okay. So you did the research. Well, you're at that time your dad was probably 32. Isn't your dad young?
This happened 4 years ago. I mean, well, not even 4 years ago. 3 years ago. My dad's, I think, 43, 42.
Oh, okay. I thought for some reason I thought your dad was really young. I mean, he's young.
He-
He's
I-
not young. He's not young. How old are you? Well, yeah.
22. So he's
So he's
had me when he was 20.
20. Yeah, okay. So he's still pretty young for a dad.
Yeah.
He's young.
Yeah. I mean, some people's dads are 70.
That's wild. Is that Grace? Is that an insight? It's
No,
Grace's dad,
I don't.
85.
Grace, how old is your dad? I'm waiting for her to pop back in.
I don't have one.
What?
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have a dad.
Sorry.
It's okay.
You and me both, brother. Yeah. You're all right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's
So
so
lots
funny.
of show.
Oh my
Wait a-
God.
Jocelyn just making everybody on the 5 a.m. shift giggle. Hey, who here's got a dad? Yeah, no. Way to be. I'm glad you brought her back for that. Hey, Grace, come back in here. We work together every week. I just want to rub something in your face real quick. Sorry,
my-
Grace.
Because that was really funny. And I think on that note, Cameron, it was really nice having you on. If there's anything you would like to promote and plug, this is your time.
Yeah. I'll be at the when does this come out? Because I'll be at that tiny house show with you next week.
Friday.
Comes out
This
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah.
This Friday.
So Wednesday at Tiny House we'll be with Amy Miller.
Amy
You're on that show,
Miller.
right? You're on that show, right?
Yes, I am on that show. Everyone should come beforehand as well, because there will be a gong open mic.
The gong mic.
Also,
nervous
the
about
Amy
that.
Miller is headlining, and rumor has it she might be remotely visiting us on Just Jossin Around. So
There you go.
stay tuned.
Love to hear it. Yeah, so I'll see
Yes.
everybody at Tiny House on January 17th. 17th.
Yup.
Yeah.
Get your tickets now.
And there's music afterwards too. Live music.
Also, on that Friday, got a lot's going on at Tiny House next week. That show, and then on Friday, I'm hosting Dolly Parton's birthday bingo. So
That's
just
cool.
stay at Tiny House for the week.
Just don't leave.
Just don't leave. Just sleep on the couch. Me and Megan will tuck you in and give you forehead kisses.
Next to that little fireplace in the back.
Oh. Yes. All of that stuff will be tagged. We will, of course, tag Cameron. Thank you for coming on and tolerating.
Thanks for having me back. This was fun.
Yes.
And I think we did it without offending the you know who group.
I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna make
That's
sure
so damn true.
we will find out.
They're gonna let
We
us
really
know.
don't know. Yeah, they're gonna let us know.
know.
So, if you wake up and your platform is gone, all your followers gone, your name has been defaced publicly.
Yeah. I'll
This
just
is-
be
but you
another. I'll just be another unknown Pacific Islander comedian who started and ended his career in a single day.
You're always welcome back for when you go on your apology tour. You can come.
Oh,
back
thank
here
you,
and
thank you. Yeah,
Clear your name publicly if you'd like.
yeah.
All right. Thank you,
All right.
Cameron.
Cool. Thanks.